Welcome to the Chirstie Taylor Show, special edition. I am super excited to have this young man back. And that's the young man that you're looking at right now, Dellguan Coleman. And let me tell you, this time last year, I was kicking off the Chirstie Taylor Show, and you were my very first guest. Wow. This is super crazy.
I know, right?
A year. I've been doing this a year, and here we are again having another amazing conversation. So thank you, Dellguan, for kicking off the Chirstie Taylor Show, and thanks for being a guest yet again on a special edition.
You're welcome.
He's being like, you're welcome. You're welcome. Well, first of all, Dellguan, you have had an amazing 2020-21, and welcome everybody to this special edition on this Friday afternoon. And just kind of wanted to let people know who you are, what you're repping, and of course, I know it's all things creative. So Dellguan Coleman, give me a little bit backstory on who you are and what you're doing as a creative entrepreneur.
Well, I'm Dellguan Coleman, the founder of Movie Go, co-founder, Coleman Neal, and my partner. Green Thumbs, the lawn service, Wedding Heaven, and I think that's it. Yes, I do. So,
You said that's enough. That's enough.
Yeah.
Because you have your photography, you're also a film director, writer. You've got a lot going on.
Yeah. I understand because you're either selling a product or a service. Right. And when you're a full-time entrepreneur, you got to have more than one stream of income to stay relevant in the marketplace. And you just have to have more than, one stream of income. I mean, I think everybody does it. I'm thinking about Coca-Cola, but yeah, they do it.
They have multiple flavors, let alone,
right.
Yeah.
In addition, so you think you're drinking, like, I'm Team Sprite, but in hindsight, Team Coca-Cola.
Team Coca-Cola, that's right. That's so true. So Dellguan Coleman, 2020, how did that challenge you creatively?
Well, with Movie Go or just period?
Just totally period, because 2020, for many people, sheltering in space, some people said this was a great year to really reset and look at how they were doing things. So how did it impact you creatively?
Man, it was a walk in the park for me because everybody was in the house in 2020. So that's when I was just like, I was doing The Last Girl on Earth when people were panicking. And this is before the mask. So when people were panicking and I was doing The Last Girl on Earth, it kind of worked out for me because everybody was in the house. So when I had to do an outside scene, everybody was in the house. So it felt like she was the last girl on earth.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah. And then I was thinking to myself, I was like, I was going to, take it to K3 and then, bring everybody out. But it was like the pandemic had just started bubbling. So everybody was in the house. So I was like, bet I want to do it online anyway to show people that you can sell indie films online. And I did. And I did it for 3 days. Well, 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I ran the show for 3 days. 3 times per day. And I made a ton of capital. And it worked out for me. And then I did the phone film festival. I did the first phone film festival. So we did it on the phone and it worked, So
this goes back to you being a creative entrepreneur, because I know you have multiple businesses. Movie Go being a part of that, in addition to Coleman Neal, in addition to your photography service, your lawn service, where did the idea of actually monetizing independent film come from for you?
People kept saying before I go into a business, I always do proper research to see if I'm connected with it. So, like my stepdad's a mechanic. I'm not connected with it. I don't care about it. To me, a car is 4 wheels and a motor. So I'm not connected with it. But he has Mustangs and you can't open a pack of chips inside of it. He loves his cars. That's his thing. So with the indie world, people kept saying you don't make money in it. And I kept asking, why not? And they were like, you just don't. But I was talking to artists versus talking to businessmen. And then I was just like, oh, they don't know how to turn influence into income. That's what it is. So when I did the K3, did it at K3 right before the pandemic. That was 19. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was 19.
2019. Yeah,
Right. So when
2019.
I did that, and then the people that were saying that you don't make money in the indie world, those were the people films that I was showing, and I let them make money. And I showed them, I'm like, this is how you do it, and they got full equity on their films. So I let them keep.
Explain what do you mean by full equity as an independent, utilizing your platform and your business plan.
Being the fact that I created the safe haven in the space and I bought the building out, I could have just been like, okay, I'm gonna give you these tickets. Because most people be like, you got these tickets, and then they like give me half of the money or whatever. But I was like, no, I'm gonna give you these tickets. I just need you to fill the seats up. You can the tickets were like $10, but they probably was like, yo, these tickets are $20. I don't care. If you got a demographic that wants to pay $20 for your ticket, but I'm selling the tickets for 10, that's his value. So that was good, but they still get. I didn't give a quarter out of it. I let them keep all the money, so that's with full equity. So they got the full 10 or 20 or whatever they charge, but they only got 10 tickets. Mm-hmm. So I had 10 minute short films, 5 different genres, um, 10 different directors and movies and whatever. And they all brought 10 people. So that's 100 people guaranteed. And then with that being said, nobody comes to a movie alone. It's rare that, people are going to the movies by themselves. So everybody was like coupled up, and it was just a lot of people. And from that point on, not only did I proved everybody wrong, I showed them that, hey, I showed them how to turn influence into income, and I've been doing it, all my life.
How did you make a profit? Because I mean, you're a businessman. So how did you utilize your influence? Okay.
I had the house, so I bought out the building, so I get the door. So I could have giving away, you know what I'm saying? Those 10 tickets didn't hurt me because I had the door. I also had the vendors that came in. So all of that, because I made my own popcorn. No, not that time. I had a popcorn vendor, but I did have T-shirts. I had merchandise. Then people that just didn't have tickets from whatever, they were just coming in. People were just coming. So I had the door, and then with that being said.
That is amazing. This sounds like pretty much like an independent musical artist who's grunging it out, going gig to gig, really rolling out their music. And now you're teaching independent filmmakers that they can do the same, that you can literally create your film, your short film, or your full feature film or documentary, and monetize it off the top. Because oftentimes you're saying, they're like,
in 19, that was in a brick and mortar. So that was in the building. But in 2020, I did it online. So I created a digital theater on Facebook, basically a private group, just like how we did, I like how you do yours. Like you got your whole setup. So I'm like Marvel, but it's kind of like almost like this, but it was private, and people bought tickets online. And I also sold again merchandise. You have to, and I just turned my influence into income. So I had T-shirts, I had movie go popcorn, and I had posters, the Last Girl on Earth posters, and people paid $5 to see all 4 episodes, $10 for all 4 episodes and a poster, and $20 for a poster, T-shirt, and popcorn, and you get to see all 4 episodes, and you got to participate in the Q&A. Most of my ticket sales were like $5 and $20. I rarely got a $10. They were $5 and $20.
Wow.
And then I ran it just like a movie theater because everybody was in the house. I'm like, okay, nobody's going out. I'm gonna use the same concept that Malco do, and I ran it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I ran it 4 days. I ran it 3 times a day, and that last day I did the Q&A with the cast, just like this. And I did
I know that a lot of people in the industry, the entertainment industry, the film industry, they were scrambling in many ways to go to an online or virtual reality when it came to sharing this. But is it because you grew up listening to or watching more things online?
Nah, it was more so I've always been a good deal closer and a salesman at the same time. First, I was a salesman with the CDs and DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I got out of jail, and because I was like, man, I don't want to do the CDs and DVDs no more. But I always treated my people. I didn't even know I had clients. I didn't know anything about influence, whatever. I just treated everybody the same. So if I had a $5 customer, I didn't treat the $100 customer any better. I treated everybody the same. So I didn't let the $100. So with that being said, I carry the same mentality. But once I understood that in the marketplace, you're either selling in business, you're either selling a product or a service.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I could do both with MovieGo. I could sell merchandise and I could sell stream, the movie. So it's not hard. You can do it, like even if you're an indie filmmaker now, or if you want to do a full feature. Just like they do rent parties, just do
Yes.
one for your house. You got 20 people, 20 friends, y'all come over, you charge them $10, just like, yo, and just create you some popcorn and have a good night. Like, man, I want y'all to critique this movie, but I want y'all to pay, just give me $10 donation, whatever word you want to use to get the $10 out of their pocket. And then they come over, you got $200 from your 20 friends. They come over, you sit in your living room, and then but the ambiance needs to feel like they're coming to a movie to see that movie.
Yes.
So you don't want the ambiance to feel like, okay, man, we just sitting at your house. No, you want them to walk in and be like, wow, okay, you put in some work. Let me give you this $10 and be happy with it. You go to popcorn and then y'all talk about the movie, and there it is, your first 20 people. And then if you can do it inside of your house with your friends, you can do it outside your house with your following.
This is really important because we are going to be in a new normal for the entertainment industry. And as independent creatives, we have to learn new ways of doing business because it is a business. It is a business, show business. Now, okay, you have also, of course, a phenomenal photographer, and shout out to you because you've even done some pictures for me. But what made you start going into film, even though you've been a photographer?
When I was doing comedy shows, I would take the pictures. I was doing them at the Zodiac at the time when I forgot his name, had the spot. And I had a videographer. So for some odd reason, man, we conflict of interest, let me say that. And I just knew I remember he had a Canon camera. I didn't know anything about, the filming part. So I had my brother Fahara. He took me to Best Buy, not Best Buy, but Sam's, and I bought a Zoom. And that point, because I always had like a point of view. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I had people filming for me, I would be direct. I was like, no, see, put it right here and yada yada yada. So I didn't know I was an editor or whatever, but once I picked it up, and I had to, Al gave me the opportunity to film weddings and stuff like that, and I just thought, adding my perspective, here we are. This is my POV. So
now, of course, like you said, last year, before the pandemic went full blown, you were already shooting a movie called Last Girl on Earth. And because a lot of people were home, you got a chance to really take advantage of people not, of empty streets, empty stores, things of nature. But you also last year and beginning of this year were working on a feature film. But let me back it up. I think it was Christmas going into New Year's. You had already done something, and because we were all still sheltered in place, and for some of us that meant, Facebook had launched rooms, and we ended up in a room around my birthday, New Year's, and and we're like 12 o'clock at night. A couple of people from around the country had jumped in my room, and you shared a
Airbnb 1333.
Yes. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about the feature film that you also worked on.
All right. So in October, so after I did the
Last Girl?
No, the Phone Film Festival, after that was over with, it was September, and then we went into October. And I'm a fan of, I was wondering like why Black people don't do horror. I'm a fan of Jason and Michael Myers or whatever. So I was gonna do a 3-day event called Scream on Screen online. So it was just gonna be for 3 days. So I put it out under MovieGo, put the flyer out, and asked people to submit films. And I got so many submissions that we had to do it for 30 days. We had to do the event for 30 days. So we did it for the entire month. So, you know, I had to jump in the ring, and I created Airbnb 1333 because Cadero showed me this house. And he was like, he kept asking me, man, come to this house. You can shoot a horror. And I was just like, yo, I really didn't have time. I promised him. I was like, tomorrow, I promise him, come out and look at the house.
Right.
And once I was driving up, and once I walked in, I was just like, oh man, this is it. And I had an idea of this, like a girl next door. Look, I had to look in my mind of the girl, and I was like, I'm not gonna shoot the movie unless I find her. And when she walked in one day, I was filming somebody's stuff, and I was gonna go. She walked in, and I knew it. I was like, can you put these glasses on? She put them on, and I was like, that's it, we're finna shoot.
Wow.
There it is.
And it was a very creative perspective on, and it's the way you have it set up. It's almost like it's a series that one storyline links to the other storyline, which is very much, for me, Twilight Zone-ish. So shout out to you for that. And I have to say that one of the first Black makeup artists in Hollywood, who used to do Dionne Warwick and others, and a host of television shows and movies, she had accidentally ended up in the room, and she literally, and she's like in her 70s, but super cool, and she hung out with us, and she was like, yeah, let's watch it. So,
oh, that was her, that lady. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, Wynonna Price. She's one of my social media friends, and she ended up asking. She said, "I don't even know how I got in here, but but she really enjoyed your work." Which leads us to, you've been doing short form. Yeah. How did you end up transitioning into feature film?
Only if I'm asked to do feature, but I prefer shorts right now because I love being able to tell a beginning, middle, and the end within. Like, I think it's so genius to be able to tell a movie in 10, 15, 20 minutes. Like, and I'm not taking or hurting nobody's time, because if you got a 30-minute lunch break and you watch a 10-minute short, whether you like it or not, you don't feel jaded.
Right.
You don't feel, you're like, all right, it was 10. But if it was a good 10 minutes, you're like, I want more, you know. And if I'm going to do a full feature, you know, I got to put the bells and whistles. We got to have the posters. We got to have the, you know, the people. So, and it's a lot, you know, it's a lot, especially when you're working on a tight budget, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you're trying to pay people or compensate people. Now, some people just want to be part of the machine while it's growing. So it's a give and take thing. It's a give and take thing.
Now, you did partner with, I think they're the owners of Southern Hands.
Oh, yeah. We did a full feature. Yep.
Let's talk about that project.
Why me? It was really a reshoot. They had shot it, and she said she didn't like, you know, she wasn't satisfied with the first film. The crazy part was, I was like, okay, she wanted to shoot it over. I guess she wanted a different perspective, or she didn't like the editing or whatever. But she never let me watch the movie. And I was just like, okay. She was like, no, I'm too embarrassed. So the entire perspective was mine. You know what I'm saying? Because I never had anything to look at. You know, I was just like, and then after I finished editing the movie, we finally finished, then she was like, okay, you can see it. And it's the same script, word for word, but you can tell the different look, night and day. And not saying that I'm better, it's just different, you know.
Yes.
If Jordan Peele would have shot Airbnb 1333,
it would have been different.
Using the same, yes, same line, same whatever, but different POVs, different point of views. And that's just people, period.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Dellguan, because, you know, I do have an undergraduate degree in drama, TV, and film performance. And one of the things that means that you can work in theater, you can work in television, you can work in film. And a lot of creatives who want to get into storytelling for film don't understand. I'm saying this from a writer perspective. When it comes to both theater and television, the writer is king or queen. But when it comes to film, the director takes the words of the screenwriter and puts their perspective. And that can be a little jarring But like you said, if you come to an understanding, it's going to be my perspective, my point of view, my interpretation of the script. Then it really gives you an opportunity to be very collaborative, because film is the most collaborative art form. You need, especially if it's a big project, possibly up to 100 to 200 people making one film happen. So how's the Memphis film community growing? Because I know since I've been back home from LA, things have been kind of popping. Y'all been kind of showing out lately. So tell me what's happening in the streets, or the streets, as they say.
I've been connecting with a lot of different newbies. When movie go, we give people opportunity. Like again, and I'm gonna just kind of stay in the ballpark with it. The actress for The Last Girl on Earth had never acted a day in her life. The person I wanted, she just wasn't connecting with me. I don't think she really wanted to do it because of the quote unquote pandemic or whatever. But the girl that's acting in The Last Girl on Earth, she bodied it. And I mean, well, she captured it. I'm gonna use.
She did very well. She did very well. Great interpretation.
Right, and it was more so like this. Denzel Washington doesn't look nothing like Malcolm X. But when he did Malcolm X, all we saw was Malcolm X. He looks nothing like Malcolm. But he embodied the character so much. So she looked nothing like the first girl I was, I was going to have doing The Last Girl on Earth. But you would never know because she embodied the actual character for the film. So with that being said, I love working with newbies and fresh, hungry talent. Like the girl Danielle Booth with the Airbnb 1333.
Yes.
Howard Joint. That was her first feature. You know what I'm saying? And that was our first time ever working, and we would have conversations, and she really wanted it. And she, it's hard. Listen, it's easy to play like a character you can relate to, but playing scared, like terrified through the whole movie or have it, that's kind of, I ain't
no actor.
It's pretty tough to hold character that long, So I was impressed with that, and I'm always open to work with any director, writer, actor, actress, costume designer, makeup artist, whatever,
That leads us into, Dellguan, why you established MovieGo for the Memphis and Mid-South region, so that you could pull all of those different resources together. How has that, going back to my question, how has that influenced in the last 2 years the Memphis film scene?
It's growing, it's growing inevitably because I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago from Atlanta, and I brought up the show, and I was like, yeah, have you ever heard of MovieGo? And he was like, yes. So with that being said, this is somebody in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I heard of it. So you have to market. You can't. I do a lot of marketing, but another thing too, when you're helping people, you never know what kind of demographic that they care. You know what I'm saying? Like Danielle has her own following, so they seeing her in a movie and it's under MovieGo. They're like, hey, what's this? Or Denitria has her own following, and so man, you just never know. These people carry influence, and I just build an arc. I'm like, yo, this is home for us. This is our Wakanda. MovieGo. I just build it.
Wakanda forever, MovieGo forever. How do a creative get connected to MovieGo?
Go to the IG, or you can hit, inbox me, and it all depends on what do you do. I just added the score button because on the IG, that's why it's taking so long with the website, because I did everything on IG that I would do with the website. So now I have to make the website even better. Because with the IG, they got Instagram TV. You can see the flyers. You can put the events up there. All of these buttons they let you add. I just added the score button. So now I got people that do score, because everything with right, and everything with MovieGo has to be original. So, and I got an archive of music. So now I had to create MovieGo music group because I got so many so many different, so much different music and like soundtracks that's going with the film. So we're all working together, and again, it all depends on what you are or what you calling yourself. I have placement for you. So you're an actor or author, people that write books. I got a guy that does comic books. I just had him on here. Well, not on your show, but my
Yeah, let's talk about, okay, because it's two things I wanted to kind of hit on. And I know that you do a lot of partnerships, like with Angela Green Esquire of On Location Memphis and the Memphis Music Bank, that is also providing, musicians an opportunity to get their music into projects, and you all collaborate quite a bit. You also collaborate with magazines and you feature people. Let's talk about that. And then we're going to get into the upcoming event. So between your collaborations and highlighting talent in the region, particularly with those amazing magazine stories.
Again, I say the more you work or the more you network, the more work you get, or the more luckier you get, the more you, putting yourself out there and you're properly prepared for that opportunity. So luck and being prepared is, what is it? Luck is opportunity meets preparation. So, with being prepared and having everything kind of lined up, you're meeting so many people from, again, magazine owners and people that got buildings and, so I don't know where it ends, but I know how it started. So I would say tell anybody that's trying to broaden their brand, you have to network and you have to be professional as possible at all times.
That is so true. That is so true.
Yeah, me not having this shirt on stains me on this interview. No matter, even if you are talking about Movie Go, but me not having the shirt on, makes people like, me having the shirt on makes people be like, you know what, he's for real.
He's committed to his brand. Exactly.
Right. And they're going to be like, what's Movie Go?
What's a Movie Go?
What's a Movie Go? What is
that? Was one of the things that when I first, I think it was 2018, 2019, when we first connected, and you had launched Movie Go, but you did such amazing impact with the branding that people thought it had been around for a long time. But you came so strong with the branding and merchandise till it was like, I want to be connected with it, and you added a lot of validity to it. So with that being said, 2021, beyond you doing, all your other creative entrepreneurship, or should I say creative ventures? That's the word I'm looking for. What we have going on this month is
Movie Go presents the Indie Film Night and Award Show. So I'm putting two shows together. I'm boxing them in together. And this time, because last year, it was just a surprise to people that helped build Movie Go, and I gave them awards, and it was like a little small invite, whether they showed up or not. I just wanted them to get their awards. And this time, I'm inviting everybody else. I'm doing pretty much like two shows in one. So we're going to have a red carpet. We're going to have entertainers, performers. We're going to have feature films, and we're going to do a tribute to Andre King, rest in peace. Well, one of my brothers that passed this year. He was an actor. He connected me with Tamika and Nikki J, and we'll do the award show. And got the Murph from West Memphis coming out. We got a lot of great brands that sponsored, and we're just going to network and enjoy ourselves.
One thing I want to say is that in addition to the actual event where you're going to be screening the movies and the award show, you also reached out in nominations, highlighting people in the community. And I want to say, for the record, thank you for the love. I'm one of the ones that you all acknowledged, along with some other amazing podcasters and those who are doing the YouTube shows. So thank you for that. What made you decide to also tap into acknowledging those that are working not just in the film industry, but in and around the entertainment industry overall?
I honor people like y'all. You was doing it way before me. I remember, like really how we met. You was introducing Angela Green and Will, and we met at Crosstown. So I'd rather give you your flowers while you're here. I'd rather tell you I love you in your
Mhm.
face while you're here versus, I lost Andre King, but I showed him love. Like I got his last interview, and
Yes.
it's on Movie Go. So and he believed in me, but it wasn't one day that he didn't know that I didn't care for him or love him. So it's a lot of y'all. You, Angela Green, um, Deborah, Nikki J,
That's
Lavita.
Deborah Brand. Yes.
Yeah, the y'all. Why? I don't want to wait until you're gone to try to wear a T-shirt or anything. I want you to know, like, this kid, man, really cared for me. So I rather, and I feel like you guys should be awarded. Like, why
Mhm.
not? Like, and y'all help me. We helping each other, iron sharpen iron, and it doesn't hurt me to do that. It doesn't hurt me. I sleep better saying, man, you deserve this. You deserve this. People
I
give
just
me
want to
flowers all
say
the time.
I just want to say, Delwan, that I appreciate that. And truly, with all the things that are going on in the world, we as creative entrepreneurs really need to support each other, not just in dollars, but in that creative support. Being able to
Yeah.
say you're doing a great job, supporting each other's events, or just saying, calling and saying, hey, how are you doing creatively? There was Laurinette over at the Memphis Black Arts Alliance early in the pandemic. She actually even requested some of us to just record short videos saying how just to stay creative, because sometimes if you're creative you soak in so much of what humanity is going through that it can cause you to withdraw. So I appreciate all the love, and I just want to say from my heart to your heart and to everybody who's checking this out and who will check this out is keep creating, keep creating, and keep sharing what you are doing with the world. Any last words? Let's make sure that they understand how they can participate in the Indie Film Night and Award Show.
It's next Sunday, the last Sunday in August at Height Lounge. If you don't know, I think it's like 3126, whatever. It's on Winchester. Oh, if you know what Big Lots is, it's in the same parking lot with Big Lots. Okay, so just remember that. Like, oh, I know what Big Lots on Winchester. Good. So if you pull up in there, and look to the left, you see all the cars and the balloons or whatever. But the tickets are $10 general admission, $25 combo. It's a $25 combo ticket where you get you get one of these,
That's nice.
all sizes, and you'll get, of course, you get to enter, and you'll get a popcorn or a hot dog and a beverage, and you get to participate in the Q&A and networking. And also, if you have a business, I'm going to be tossing the mic, not literally tossing it, but we'll pass the mic around. You got 2 minutes to promote your business. I always do that. Like, why not? If we got all these bodies in the house and all these great minds, people, I don't mind sharing my influence, you know. So if my influence start following you, I did my job. I don't mind sharing it. So I love doing it. And I think as a culture, culturally, that should be one of the things that we start practicing versus, oh, Chirstie Taylor just passed and everybody's showing you love versus, no, let's get this show rolling out. We need people like you. We
Thank
need
you.
people like Angela Jackson. Y'all are needed. Y'all are heroes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you inspired me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you put the battery in my back. So it's my job to keep carrying the torch. And then hopefully, when my time is up, I pass it on to one of our children and they keep
That's the
carrying it,
whole goal.
just like
That's the
Hollywood.
whole goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so very much. As again, Dellguan Coleman of Movie Go and so many other creative ventures. Be sure to check him out on his social media. You can check out Movie Go on Facebook and Instagram, and even his clothing line. We didn't get a chance to talk much about Coleman Neal, but be sure to check out his fashion at colemanneal.com. That's colemanneal.com. And anytime you need me, please let me be supportive of you. And I'm going to say this to the entire creative community here in the Mid South. Feel free to reach out. I definitely want to highlight all the great work that you're doing. All right. Thank you all so very much. Any last words, Delwan?
No, I appreciate you for never telling me no. I'm like a kid in the candy store. She has never told me no. I'd be like, Chirstie, can you? She's like, yeah, sure. Let me figure it out. Da, 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 da. So with that being said, I really do appreciate it. I really like. I'm honored the fact that again, I keep forgetting when you remind me though that I was the first person on your show, on your podcast. So again, I made history with that. So these why wouldn't I give you an award to help? You know what I'm saying? Like you making history in my life. I gotta respect it.
I just as we wrap, I have to literally say that I have been slow poking doing the show throughout last summer, and I had put it out there that I was going to do a show, and you reached out and you called me on and said, "Hey, you started a show. Can I be on it?" So I was like, "Yes."
See? You got to keep marketing. Even when you think you're there, you got to keep. I didn't even know that.
It's like I kept saying, "I'm gonna do the show. I'm gonna do the show. I'm gonna do the show," and then you called and said, "Are you doing the show? I want to be on it." And then after that, other people were like, "Yeah, I want to be on the show. I want to be on the show." So thank you for reaching out, saying I got something going on, because it pushed me. And I have to say, for the record, so many amazing people throughout this amazing city and across the country into Canada have been on the Chirstie Taylor show. And we are even now, Tina Tilton and I are looking to expand into the rest of the Comcast Southeast market. If you are a business and you want to launch with us into 12 more markets, that includes Little Rock, Atlanta, Nashville, Charleston, be sure to connect with me because I know Dellguan is going to go wherever I go. So if you are also interested in expanding into new markets with whatever your service, brand, and business is, be sure to reach out to the Chirstie Taylor Show. We're looking forward to taking Memphis to new heights wherever we go. So thank you again for saying, I want to be, hey, have you started this show? I want to be on it, because here we are a year later and expanding. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. You all have an amazing weekend. And tonight, I'm going to be on Instagram. Let's go live with Marvin Davis, a performer right here in Memphis as well. Looking forward to seeing you next time.